I don't know. Honestly, I don't know who the did it. They said Roscoe, but I don't want to. I ain't finna.
The controversy surrounding Young Thug, Gunna, Pee Wee Roscoe, and the YSL case has been a topic of heavy debate, resurfacing after a leaked interrogation video of Young Thug from 2015 went viral online. The video showed Thug being questioned by police about an incident involving Lil Wayne's tour bus, sparking a storm of reactions from the rap community and fans alike. In the interrogation, Thug appeared to discuss Pee Wee Roscoe's involvement, though he was vague and careful with his words. He repeatedly stated that he didn't want to accuse Roscoe of something he wasn't sure about, saying things like he didn't know for certain, didn't want to block Roscoe's case, and couldn't definitively say whether Roscoe did it or not. He emphasized that he didn't want to put false blame on anyone and insisted that what he said in that room was part of the process, just like anyone else would do when being interrogated. When the clip circulated, social media reactions came quickly. Some people immediately labeled Young Thug a snitch, while others defended him, saying he didn't actually put anyone in jail or provide information that led to an arrest. DJ Academic spoke on the situation, pointing out how the culture of snitching is selectively enforced in hip-hop. According to him, whether someone is branded a snitch often depends more on how much people like them rather than the facts of the case. He explained that when people favor an artist, they create excuses. Maybe the artist just confused police, maybe nobody was arrested because of what they said, or maybe they were just trying to redirect attention. But when it's someone the community dislikes, the same actions are interpreted as clear-cut snitching. This issue mirrored the backlash Gunna faced during the YSL RICO case. Gunna took an Alford plea, which allowed him to maintain his innocence while acknowledging the prosecution had enough evidence to convict him. His release stirred heated debate, with many claiming he had snitched. Despite that, fans largely accepted him because his music remained strong and commercially successful. This highlighted what academics described as the reality of the industry. If an artist is well-liked, the streets and fans overlook questionable choices. Roscoe himself eventually addressed the viral interrogation clip. Instead of accusing Young Thug of betrayal, he defended him. Roscoe explained that Thug didn't actually do anything wrong in that interrogation room. He described Thug as clean as ivory soap, saying Thug only did what anyone would do in that situation and even tried to help him avoid trouble. Roscoe emphasized that everyone gives statements during interrogations and insisted Thug never truly snitched on him. According to him, Thug kept it real and tried to pull him out of a bad spot. Thug also commented on the situation, tweeting that his interrogation video wasn't used in court because it actually helped his brother. He mocked the snitching accusations by using the hashtag #Ratware, seemingly pointing out how ridiculous the label was. Still, the interrogation resurfaced in the larger context of the YSL RICO trial. Prosecutors claimed Thug was involved in orchestrating a hit on Lil Wayne's tour bus in 2015. They even tried to bring Lil Wayne in to testify, though he never appeared in court, nor did he speak to police. On the other hand, Thug's words to investigators about the incident were preserved, raising concerns about whether those statements could hurt his defense. During the RICO trial, prosecutors went as far as putting the tour bus driver on the stand. The driver became emotional as he recalled bullets striking the bus, shattering the radiator, and frightening passengers who ducked and screamed in fear. He eventually retired after the traumatic experience. While this testimony added weight to the state's case, Wayne himself stayed silent, which made Thug's own cooperation with police more glaring in comparison. The interrogation tape fueled comparisons between Thug and Gunna, particularly as Thug began lashing out at Gunna after his release. Thug criticized Gunna's new album, the last one, dismissing it outright. Gunna responded by saying Thug had unfollowed him just because he wasn't featured on the project, clearly showing strain in their relationship. Fans speculated that Thug's anger came from more than just the music. It was deeply tied to the belief that Gunna had snitched during the YSL trial. Tensions escalated when Thug openly dissed Gunna at a club, calling him a rat by name. He even explained that the only reason he ever supported Gunna in the first place was because of a mutual friend named Troop. Thug's lack of subtlety was concerning, given that he was under probation with strict conditions. The state of Georgia quickly filed a motion to revoke his probation, citing his public outbursts and disses in his music as violations. On social media, Thug continued his tirades. He went live, mocking Gunna's lifestyle and finances, accusing him of losing his home and exaggerating his success. He also denied rumors about photos circulating online of him in unusual outfits, clarifying they weren't real. Thug mocked Gunna's claims of having more hits than him or Kendrick Lamar, saying Gunna couldn't match his catalog. His anger seemed uncontained, and many feared it would only damage his legal standing further. DJ Academics weighed in again, warning that Thug was being set up for failure with his probation. Academics argued that probation terms lasting 15 to 20 years make it nearly impossible to stay compliant, especially for someone as high profile as Thug. He pointed out that Thug wasn't free in the truest sense because he was restricted from talking about street-related activity in his music, living in Atlanta, or communicating with co-defendants. Academics suggested that any slip-up, even small social media posts or lyrics, could easily be interpreted as a violation. Meanwhile, rumors spread that Thug had access to a full 2-hour interrogation video of Gunna that showed him telling police far more than the public had seen. Whack 100 claimed Thug was sitting on this footage, using it as proof that Gunna cooperated extensively. Charleston White also chimed in, saying he respected Gunna for snitching and thought it was a smart move to secure his freedom. He went as far as calling himself a Gunna fan because of it, saying he would have done the same thing. Thug's probation problems worsened after he released the song Money on Money, where he dissed Gunna and also targeted a female prosecutor named Marissa Vivero. He called her a liar and shared posts mocking her, which the feds viewed as dangerous since she was a government official. Authorities worried that Thug was encouraging harm toward her, making his situation more precarious. This was particularly alarming since she was the same prosecutor connected to Gunna's plea deal and involved in the investigation of other Atlanta rappers like Lil Baby. Lil Baby's name surfaced in court when investigators revealed wiretap evidence suggesting he had placed tickets on people's heads, a slang term meaning bounties. This tied back to the same officer Thug dissed, further entangling the Atlanta rap scene in legal troubles. The looming threat of a 4PF RICO case against Lil Baby mirrored what happened with YSL, suggesting that the crackdown on Atlanta rap collectives wasn't stopping anytime soon. The feud between Thug and Gunna persisted. Fans flooded social media urging Thug to forgive Gunna since he himself had cooperated with police in the past. They argued that both men had done similar things and should reconcile, but Thug seemed unwilling to let go. He continued to diss Gunna publicly, even tweeting that rappers who rat should switch to gospel music because they no longer had credibility in the streets. One fan responded by saying Thug himself was in no position to rap about gangster topics given his probation, a comment that went viral and drew more attention from authorities. Thug also allegedly reached out to other rappers from jail, asking them to distance themselves from Gunna. Reports claimed he told Lil Baby, Lil Durk, and others to avoid working with him. Academics even suggested that Thug leaked this information to him intentionally so it would reach the public while he avoided saying it directly. Gunna, on the other hand, responded through his lawyer. The lawyer clarified that Gunna never cooperated in a way that harmed Thug, pointing out that his plea deal wasn't used in Thug's trial and didn't require him to testify. He noted that Gunna had moved on with his career, performing worldwide and enjoying success, while Thug was left with a long probation sentence and heavy restrictions. Tekashi 6 multiplied by 9 INE, infamous for his own snitching case, also gave his opinion. He argued that Gunna's plea deal did hurt Thug because it legitimized prosecutors' claims that YSL was more than just a record label. By admitting YSL was a gang, Gunna undercut Thug's defense that it was simply an entertainment company. In Tekashi's view, that made Gunna's actions directly damaging to Thug's case. This feud created ripple effects in the Atlanta rap scene. Lil Baby and other rappers distanced themselves from Gunna, believing his deal compromised their reputations and possibly their own legal safety. Investigators' interest in 4PF further raised suspicions, connecting Gunna's cooperation to broader cases. Fans were left debating endlessly, who truly snitched? Was it Thug for talking to police in 2015, or Gunna for taking the Alford plea and acknowledging YSL as a gang? The answer depends largely on perspective. To some, Thug's interrogation looked like snitching, though Roscoe himself didn't see it that way. To others, Gunna's plea deal was a betrayal, even if it didn't directly incriminate Thug. Regardless, both men have been scarred by the snitching label, and their relationship is beyond repair. At the core, this saga reflects the contradictions of hip-hop street code. Snitching accusations are weaponized selectively, often more about popularity and loyalty than facts. Thug and Gunna's split shows how fragile those alliances are when legal troubles hit. For Thug, probation restrictions mean any slip-up could send him back to prison. For Gunna, the stigma of being labeled a rat may never fully disappear, even as his music continues to succeed. What's clear is that both artists' lives and careers have been permanently altered by the YSL RICO case and the fallout from that infamous interrogation video. Fans and rappers alike are left to decide for themselves who broke the code, or if the code itself has become nothing more than a convenient tool used to elevate some and destroy others.